This conference will now be recorded. This conference will now be recorded.
Okay, so since you already working on SAP and you know much information about SAP, so now that the reason why SAP went for this S4HANA is because of the volume of data it is going to process, right? So this is a overview of volume of data which SAP expect. So by 2020, 5 billion users will be online, and then a lot of informations will be transferred through cloud. And then for data analytics purpose, SAP need to process more number of data. So that's why SAP came with the latest innovation of S4HANA. So they started this journey called Simple SAP Simple Finance in 1510 or 1511, and now it is not Simple Finance no more. Okay, so SAP is now it is with S4HANA Enterprise, where it links with all kind of module, and they removed that Simple Finance concept or component. Earlier they called it as a Simple Finance because they brought it as a kind of add-on within that SAP system. So they called it as a Simple Finance. Now that all data being processed on S4 platform, so that Simple Finance has been removed. So now that Simple Finance is no longer applicable. So you can just say S4 Finance. So that should be fine. So S4 they started with 1511, and then they moved up to 1610, and then 1709, and then now 1809 and then 1909. So let's go through this concept of why we have 1809, 1909, and 1709. So that is how SAP transformed from ECC world to S4 world. So the basic concept is to handle more number of data, how we can provide all kind of information within the single source of truth. That's the main concept. So that's a single source of truth is nothing but our universal journal. which is nothing but AC docket table. So we'll go in detail about that as well. So this is the main concept why SAP brought this S4HANA. Earlier, if you see, you need more deeper information and then broad information. Then you need to compromise on high speed and simple. So you can't do a simple reporting with high speed because you're getting deeper and then broader. And then now, if you want a high speed, then you can create only a simple report. You cannot go broad and deep. One example is that profitability analysis, where if you want to compare 2 years of data, which is if you need a high speed, then it can be a simple report. What is your total sales quantity? And if you want a more detailed information, splitting of data, how much is my cost, how much is my overall percentage, all those, when we get into the data into deeper and broader, then you need to compromise on the high speed. This is the current year, this scenario was part of ECC 6. So SAP was thinking to overcome this particular constraint, how we can do that. And they came up with the because of the latest technology developed for multi-core processing, large memory, and then onboard cache. And these are the concept SAP took advantage of it, and they worked with I think it is more with HP to create a large memory component or multi-core processing system where they can process huge number of data in memory. So that is the concept which they started. So they can process more number of data and where the report will be faster, and to overcome the constraint of how you can take the report broader and also faster. So that was the concept which SAP took. And based on that, and they found that it is successful. And how they found it successful is if you remember in ECC 6, there was a concept called COPA accelerator. They brought that accelerator in the concept of S4. That was basic concept which they took it and then made this S4 journey successful. So in the S4 accelerator, what they did is it was they provided as an add-on component where they created this concept of multiple processing, and then they took the data of all COPA relevant data table, copy of that particular table, and then they started processing in this accelerator. So that was it was processing 3 million records or 4 million records within the very short period of time, and they found that more advantages, and then they wanted to bring that concept across the system. So that's how the I would say that S4 HANA emerged as a new technology based on that one. And SAP, earlier we had multiple tables transactions and then acceleration. And you will have a transaction table, and and above that you will have a totals table, and above that you will do that lot of analysis. When you do the simple reporting, you will query that totals table, and when you want a deeper, then you query the line item table. This is how SAP was earlier releases was happening. And now that with the in-house in-memory concept, what they bring is they bring the entire table to the memory, and there is a concept called where you can remove or release the data which is older, partition. They call it as partition. Say for example, I don't need a data of more than 3 years, then they will not query that 3 years data. Instead, they will query only the latest 2 years data, and beyond 2 years, they will not query the table. So that is a concept which they call it as a partition, and they do that particular partition, and then they get the data which is relevant for faster processing. This is called again simplification concept, but with the partition and simplification with real time memory, so they could able to process more number of data within the short period of time. Again, the earlier in we had a transaction processing system, and we also had a online analytical processing system, which we call it as OLTP and OLAP. So all the transactions will happen in S3, S4, or R3 ECC system, and then OLAP will take the data from ECC, and then it will do all the analytical processing. And it requires a lot of reconciliation effort, because there is always a chances of data gets missed out. All those issues where we were doing facing. And for that purpose, every team will have its own BW, and then SAP finance team, and then at the month end when we do the reconciliation, we spend a lot of time in the reconciliation. And SAP thought of doing a kind of stop to this reconciliation. If you stop the reconciliation effort, ideally minimum 5 to 6 days of your effort will go away during the month end processing, because the reconciliation takes a hell lot of time to find out and then do what kind of data is missing, and then process the data, and then post the data, and then finalize your consolidation reporting. These are the few things which SAP took it as part of the recent developments, and that's how SAP rewrote the complete program, but without disturbing any of the existing functionality. And at the same time, they brought a new functionalities where you can improve the business process. And then also thought about reporting functionalities where they can report it at a faster pace, which can help the CIOs and then CEOs and CFOs. That's the main concept what SAP took, and that's how they started developing this. As part of that rewriting of the code, right? And they have this latest technology of reading table faster. The existing architecture is not much supportive. So they took a new concept called CDS views, right? Where the data core services, we call it as core data services, and they brought that concept. It is nothing but a kind of reading the way you read the table. Earlier, we used to read that in that row-wise data. Instead, now they query at the column. So how it works? Say, for example, when you take the report on a GL account, okay, so they first query the table at the GL account, fiscal year, and the period. So which reduces you first select all the data, and then you filter it based on that particular GL account, is going to take a lot of time. So now they query just that particular GL account, period, and company code. It reduces a lot of numbers get select or lines get selected as part of the data. So that's the concept which they took it. So for this particular purpose, they need to eliminate all the existing table, which are more of a core data existing table structure. So they brought a new tables, but they still retained the core table in finance called BKPF and BSEG. So the BSEG is not going away, at least till 1909. So in future we can expect that it may go away, but for consistency purpose they have retained the BSEG. So in addition to that, they have brought a lot of tables in material ledger, a lot of tables in um, finance area, but they got rid
Raghu,
of all.
1 minute. Raghu, 1 minute. You said that BSEG and BKPF, now data will go to both, or it will only go to SEDOCA now?
No, it will go for BKPF first, BSEG, then to ACW.
But there will not be any data, right? As far as my knowledge concerned, henceforth, all information whenever you post in FB60, it will go to ACDOCA, but not to BSEG and BKPF, right?
It will.
Not right?
Without BKPF and BSEG, ACW will not be updated.
Okay, but you mean to say dual entry will be there in ACDOCA as well as BKPF and BSEG?
Yes. ACW
Okay.
is not replaced for BKPF and BSEG. SAP retained BKPF, BSEG plus
Mm-hmm.
ACW. It is
So
still still that table present in the architecture.
No,
And
no,
data will be
architecture, the
updated.
table will be there, but henceforth in S4HANA, data will not go into BSEC and BKPF. Is that
No,
correct?
that's not true.
So, sorry, Raghu, just to understand this, you mean to say that, what I understood from my project is that ACDOCA is the replacement for all FICO submodules like bank accounting, material ledger, asset accounting. They have some document header and item tables are there, right? So henceforth in S4HANA, data will not go into those tables, but it will go to transactional data will go to this ACDOCA. Is that my understanding wrong?
Correct. Your understanding is not correct. The
Okay.
BKPF, BSEG still retained, and the data will
Okay.
be updated in BSEG and BKPF plus
Mhm.
AC.K. Okay. So whatever the BKPF is the header information. Okay. So that they retained it without all document numbering will be generated based on the BKPF, and then it will go to AC.K. And due to consistency, some in issues within the structure, they have retained the BSEG. So the BSEG table will also be updated as part of this current S4 architecture. BKPF and BSEG, they don't go away. They are still retained.
Still
Now,
retained? No, no, still
with
retained for
the
the old
data,
data.
no, for the new S4 data, even if you are implementing new S4 system,
Mhm.
without doing a migration, still BKPF and BSEG data will be updated.
So you mean to say if I post, sorry to interrupt, if I post the FB60, BKPF and BSEC information will be there in BKPF and BSEC and ACDOCA.
Correct.
Oh, okay. Okay, Raghu. Yeah, please
Okay.
continue.
Yeah.
It's my understanding wrong. Maybe I'll check in FB60 tomorrow.
Sure.
Yeah.
Go ahead. No worries. But there is a catch here, and there is one company which
Mhm.
specifically went to SAP. I don't remember the company, and they said they don't want update in BSEG. I think there is an OSS note which talks about it. If you do
Mhm.
not want the BSEG to be updated, SAP can do that, but they have to give a kind of a in writing that they will take responsibility if for this activity. And SAP, for any inconsistency, SAP may charge them for all kind of inconsistency if anything arises. But still BKPF will be updated even if with this particular OS is not implemented for BSEG. But in my view, all the companies are going with the same architecture provided by SAP, and they are not getting rid of this BSEG. So ultimately, what SAP says is you can do a 99,999 line items in AC.K, but still the BSEG will have the restriction of 999 line items. So if you go with this concept again, you will do only 999 line items in AC.K as well. You can't go beyond that because of that BSEG restriction. So for
So
that,
it's
SAP is
applicable to other
adjusting.
tables also, like material ledger. We have some tables, right?
No, they replaced that table. Okay. So in this case, they retained the table. For other
Oh,
cases, they replaced it. So there is a difference between here. So
okay. Maybe I have to understand this during the class. Okay, Raghu. Thank you. Thanks for correcting my understanding.
no issues. So the when they replace the table, say BSID, BSAD, they replaced it with AC.K because all clearing informations are available in AC.K. So they
Mhm.
don't need it. Only for old table, if you are migrating, whenever you query a table which is relevant to AC.K or any old data, then the query will be diverted to BSID and BSID of the old one. So they create a CDS view for that particular data, but that will
Mhm.
be retained. But for new implementation, greenfield implementation, you will not see those tables because it is not required. So
Mhm.
the replacement happened for those tables, index tables and aggregate tables like no open item cleared, all those cleared item tables, all those are done for customer, vendor, GL, all those things are covered. But BKPF and BSCG, they retained it. And in my current project, which we are implementing, and we do have that BSCG and BKPS, which is the latest S4HANA project. So this
Okay,
is
thanks.
the, yeah, this is the overall architecture, which I said, SAP is no longer using the word called simple finance because of this architecture. So SAP S4 Enterprise Management, this includes everything. So S4 Finance, S4 Human Resource, S4 Manufacturing, S4 Supply Chain, and S4 Asset Management. Even though it is a kind of it works individually when you take it, but overall it is all linked to S4 Enterprise Management. And SAP is also buying a lot of new components like success factors or Ariba, Concur, Hybris. All these are integrated to the SAP S4 Enterprise Management. And in this way, they keep whatever the new functionalities which they are creating within that specific module. Say, for example, if you are creating a new functionality in finance asset accounting module, so it takes care of the entire end-to-end supply, end-to-end integration flow um, without disturbing the existing flow. So that's how they make sure that any new enhancements or any releases are not disturbed with the new functionalities within a specific module. And I was talking about SAP started releasing 1709, 1809, 1909, and now they are working on 2009. Um, the concept is called service pack stack, and then feature pack stack. The feature pack stack are each and every quarter they will be releasing some sort of features, and then kind of any issue or bug fix, something like that. But any new business process or anything which is called a service pack stack will be issued only during the last quarter of that issue. That means that next release will come into picture. So every quarter you will have a feature pack, and the last quarter, which is called Q4, that will be released as a support pack, which is nothing but your service pack stack. So it means that new release will come into picture. Say, for example, now you are in 1909. So 1909, December, January, February of 2020, you would have received a new service pack and feature pack. So March, April, May, there will be one more feature pack. June, July, August, you will receive one. But when it comes to September, you will receive a new service pack stack, which is nothing but the new release. So all new functionalities will be released within that service pack stack. Any minor issues or no bug fix will be updated through the quarterly releases. In material ledger, lot of issues which they faced it when they migrated to this S4. They always keep releasing something new as part of feature pack status, every quarter. Even if you go to some OSS note, they will specifically say Q1 2020, Q2 2020, like that they will issue. It means as part of the feature pack, they have issued some OSS note for that. And SAP's main concentration for all these new functionalities, SAP S4 Finance, is that how they can achieve the completeness within the reporting from CFO point of view. So within CFO, a lot of people you will have multiple people responsible for multiple area, treasurer, as you said, bank accounting related, operation finance, manufacturing related, and then chief compliance officers, VP finance, head of corporate reporting for all consolidation. So they would like to bring a kind of complete architecture where they can achieve less reconciliation or near zero reconciliation, and also the reporting happens faster and quicker. Within that, like for when you close your books within workday plus 2 or 3, you need to achieve your financial book close for that particular month. So that is the target which SAP was planning, and that is the reason SAP also released a new business planning consolidation tool called real-time consolidation. And now they moved out of that real-time consolidation, and then now they are just concentrating us on BPC, but still they are trying to achieve the same objective of the real-time consolidation. And as part of this, they brought that new concept called central finance, because you have multiple system available, because every organization they keep acquiring new system or new company like SAP, SuccessFactor or Hybris kind of thing. So when they bring those new company, they need a common system for the consolidation purpose. So what they did is like they brought this concept. You have a existing SAP ECC 6 system. Hybris has got a ECC 5, and then like no uh, Concur has got a ECC 7 with the latest patch of each EHP8. So now they want to bring all the data together so that the consolidation will happen smoothly. So if you do the if you take the data directly from each system, okay. So the consolidation, you need to do the reconciliation and then perform the consolidation. So what SAP thought is if you push the data on a transactional basis. So if you're posting an FB60 in ECC 5, immediately that will get posted to S4 Central Finance. So with that concept, your consolidation will be smoother if you take the data directly from the Central Finance system.
Raghu,
SAP is
one
yeah,
minute. So what do you mean by central finance? You mean it will be a separate system?
it is a separate system, or you can start the system as a separate system, and you can also bring that as part of your source system after some point of time as well. Say for
So you mean
example
to
now,
say, yeah, please.
so now you assume that your one system in ECC 6 and one
Mm-hmm.
system is in ECC 5 and one system is in ECC 7. So
Okay.
now you have a central finance. So you can, once you start doing that central finance load, so all your data will get replicated in central finance. So
So it is an
now
S4
you
HANA
can,
system?
yes, for HANA
Okay.
system. And now
Okay.
what you can do is you can get rid of ECC 6 first and bring that ECC 6 as part of your central finance system as a full-fledged functionality within central finance server. Same way, after migration of ECC 6 is complete, you can do for ECC 5, and then you can do it for ECC 7. Over a period of time, you can get rid of 6, 5 and 7 system, and you are converting that central finance system as one single source truth system with all transactional base. So you will
So you
over a
mean
period of time.
yeah. So you mean to say that okay, now in my landscape I have three ECC systems. So I will you mean to say all these three will be converted to an S4 HANA system?
Yeah, you can do that. This is a kind of strategy which you need to build as part of your organization vision. If you want to have the one system migrated from all the three ECC 5, 6 and 7 to
Mm-hmm.
S4, you can't do everything at the same time, right? It is a big exercise, and if something goes wrong, then it is going to be a big issue. So what you can do is you can create a central finance system. First you replicate the data from source to target, and
Okay.
then you take one system and you convert that into S4, and then you no longer needed that landscape no transformation from ECC 6 to S4. So that migration will be complete. Then you show to the management that you are successful in that migration. Then you can do the 5 and 7. So in that way, you convert that 5 and 7 to the target system. Then you can get rid of the 6, 5 and 7. When you have multiple system, it maintenance cost is huge. So what organization do is they take a vision and strategy how to convert these into S4 system. This is one of the
So
strategy.
Okay. Are you covering this central finance as part of this course?
No.
Okay. You are not telling how to migrate the data from
Yeah, that
ECC.
I will cover as part of ECC, the S4 migration. But like no
Okay.
central finance, is a separate topic on its own actually. It's a big topic. So we cannot
Okay.
cover that as part of this one. But that is one
Okay.
strategy. So we will cover the strategy, how you can migrate. So, but not that central finance topic separately.
Okay. Okay. Right. Yeah. Please continue.
Yeah,
Thank you.
because it's a separate configuration, it's a separate system. All those configuration you need to do it in source system and target system. Everything is.
So how big it is? I mean, it is like another module we
Project.
have to learn.
Yeah, it's a project actually. Central finance is a separate system actually.
Okay. Okay. Right. Thank you.
Yeah. So as you know that Fiori is the central point of reporting nowadays. SAP like no all data for Fiori comes from AC.K, AC.P and AC.C. So AC.K is for actuals and AC.P is for planning and AC.C is for consolidation. So Fiori is like no built in such a way that you can take all this information directly into the reporting tool, Fiori reporting tool, because of your universal journal like no concept. And it is easy for them to create any kind of reporting based on a single source of truth. So that's the reason SAP gone with the Fiori model. And it also provide more advantage of controlling the authorization. And it is like no, you don't need a separate training for users. If they know about one Fiori tile, if you provide another Fiori tile, it is going to be easy for them to navigate that because there is not much change between tile to tile. Only thing is additional selection parameters are required. Based on the role, they can easily navigate that selection parameters. So that's the reason for SAP to move towards Fiori. And these are all like no role based word like no responsive, simple, coherent. All these are like no whenever user wanted to run a Fiori report, they want to run it in MacBook or they want to run it in Windows and they want to run it on iPad. It's easy. And also if they have a like no Ariba implemented, all organization leadership, they would like to approve that whatever the purchase order, purchase requisition approval process flow simply by clicking that link, whatever is available. So SAP thought about it and then they built that Fiori tool where it is easy for handling and also like no simple to use and it links with all kind of module and it adjusts the app get adjusted based on your application. If your application is iPad, then the app get adjusted based on that. And if it app is Windows, because these are not a separate app for each and every platform. Only one app is created, but it gets adjusted based on that application. So Windows application, Apple application, or whatever the any other application. So it gets adjusted. That's what it is. And also responsive. So whenever user gets some message, so it is easy for them to navigate what kind of error message they are getting, and then they can easily navigate. And also it provides a better advantage to the user for these three main criteria. The Fiori app can be a transactional app where you will do FB60 or FB01, those kind of transaction, or it can be a fact sheet. So whenever you log in, like no working capital reports, these are all like no fact sheet. What is my current AR outstanding? What is my current AP outstanding? What is my inventory? These are all fact as of today that will get in like no informed as a fact sheet. And what is my production order is manufactured today? What is my sales order pending to be delivered? And it all depends on that. And analytical is how did I perform? Why did my cost go up? and why did my sales go down? All these are analytical. So SAP categorized as all Fiori apps into these three categories. It can be either transactional or fact sheet or analytical. Again, it all comes into simple tile. So you must have seen this tile. So if you see here, aging analysis is a kind of fact sheet, and then you have a display recurring entries. It's a transaction, and then perform foreign currency valuation. It is a transaction. Same way, you can create a new report for your analytics sales view, sales revenue view for CFO. That will be then analytical, and it is easy for searching the app, and then you can group the tiles based on that grouping. You can display that easily, and then you personalize your page. So these are the generally users would like to do it. So they came up with a concept called tiles. So each Fiori app is called as tiles. So each tiles you can group that into main category based on your grouping, which in S4 system or SAP system you used to create your own favorite group. So same way you can do that in the tiles as well. These are the advantages which SAP has brought as part of the tiles. And now getting into universal journal. Why the AC docket table is called as a universal journal? Whenever you pass any journal entry, right? Say for example, you say you took an example of FB60. When you post this FB60, you post it not only for leading ledger, there could be multiple ledgers you will post. That is one set of information. And in addition to that, you must be posting this to a cost center, or you must be posting to a profitability segment. And that profitability segment may have more information like all kind of segment information as part of that particular transaction. Or you can do a logistics transaction, MyGo, or you can do a Myro, which you must be posting that directly to the material ledger. All these original entry business transaction, which has a link between multiple module, all the information is stored in AC.K as a original entry, and it creates for all the ledgers. So that's why it is called as a single source of truth with all information which is relevant for finance controlling in that particular journal entry. So it means that when you go to AC.K, you will see the complete journal entry of that particular document. That's why it is called as a universal journal. In technical term, it is nothing but AC.K is called as a universal journal. It provides integrity of when you take an FI document number in AC.K, if you query that particular table, then all information relevant to that particular document, which is required for finance, is available as part of that table. As of today, I think around 350 plus fields are available as part of AC.K. In addition to that, you also have a material related tables like MAD ML Okay, so these are the additional tables which is available. But from finance point of view, if you take the AC.K table for your Fiori reporting, for your analysis, you should be able to achieve everything what you need from finance point of view. It includes actual transaction. It includes all your simulation transactions. Simulation transaction is nothing but the new concept which SAP brought in 1809, is that simulation ledger. And you also have extension ledger. All these information is available as part of AC.K. That's why you can easily query that AC.K with all kind of information. And it also stores the splitting information as well. So it is not just that line item, whatever you see in FB60, if you are posting that to two different profit center, if your vendor account will be splitted into two based on your profit center. So that is called balancing profit center. So this AC.K table or universal journal will carry all the information about your FI, CO, material ledger, and then COPA, asset accounting, everything, including your document splitting characteristics of in the universal journal. The document splitting is very important for us for reporting purpose, so that always your profit centers will get matched, like, or else you can have a true view of your profit and loss and balance sheet of a profit center. The concept of profit center, it evolved a lot from ECC 6, because SAP brought the document splitting functionality and they retained it. But a lot of changes has happened in the document splitting functionality. They made it very simple and straightforward. In ECC 6, you had a lot of configuration from document splitting perspective, but they made it very simple in S4. That's the reason they called it as initially the simple finance, but later, based on the architecture, they removed that simple as part of the complete concept of S4. So for that purpose, the universal journal will carry all information, including the new fields. If any customer fields is created as part of COPA, generally, like in COPA, you will create a lot of custom characteristics and also value fields. Those informations also available as part of the AC.K table. And SAP suggesting to move towards account-based costing rather than the costing-based COPA. The reason for that is AC.K is more aligned with account based, and they overcame all difficulties we had in account based COPA from earlier releases, and that's the reason we were forced to use costing based COPA. And now that SAP came out with all kind of enhancements within account based, whatever you were using in costing based COPA, you can use that in account based COPA. That's the reason we have a splitting for COGS, splitting for variances. All these are part of account based COPA enhancements.
Raghu, 1 minute. So are you going to cover this account based COPA in detail?
Yeah, I will cover, but whatever is enhanced, because it is a delta, right? So I'm not going to go into basic configuration. I will cover whatever is the new functionalities offered as part of the account based COPA.
So if you say delta means, are you going to cover any? Will show a practical SPRO system configuration, and then also show how to post those transactions?
Yes. We'll do that.
Not just theoretical explanation of what delta, but you are able to showcase me the SPRO configuration, as well as the posting some transactions in the account base, and what is the difference between casting and account base.
Yeah, definitely, Ram. So without that, no, you will not able to configure the system, right?
Yeah. Because see, I have some good knowledge on finance, but on controlling part, I know the basic structure of cost center accounting or profit center accounting, but not into much details about variance or other stuff. Yeah, but no problem. Yeah, I think you told that right. I can grasp that. No problem. Thank you.
Yeah. So this is going to be the agenda for our overall training. Okay. So what is going to be the S4 roadmap? Within that, we will cover what kind of system we can go for. Like what we discussed is a one architecture, multiple systems you have, and with one central finance. And there are some preconditions available. Like if you want to use a S4 central finance, you need to have at least one system in place. It is not that you need to go only with SAP system with central finance. You can also connect a non-SAP system as well. So in that way, the central finance is a kind of flexible uh, tool where you can link multiple system and then you get it migrated. So that we can see, and also in GL accounting, what's new, and what's new within that, ledger concepts, or how the ledger concepts are linked to the new architecture. and also the business partner concepts with customer vendor integration. There is a huge difference how it works for customer vendor integration. And since you are already working on logistics
Yeah,
part
I
of
know
it,
this business partner in and out because I'm already working on S4HANA.
yeah.
Yeah.
So we can skip
So,
those which you are aware of it.
yeah.
And
Yes, you have syllabus because if some other students are also joining the class, but you can go with your syllabus only. I'll like if I have any doubts, maybe I'll ask you in between.
sure. No, it depends on how many of us is going to be part of the training. And for
No
bank
problem.
accounting, new bank accounting, earlier we used to do all the house banks from S4. So now that it is gone, so we need to use that NWBC transaction to configure all bank related configuration. And then asset accounting new. What is new in that asset accounting? Say, for example, the technical clearing account, and for each ledger, how to create a depreciation area, how that linkage happens. And then COPA account based versus costing based COPA. And what are the changes available as part of the ML configuration. And then we'll touch upon the it's not touching, it's that the configuration related to migration. And then what are the new table structure. That's what I said, no basic configuration will be covered as part of this particular training. I assume that everyone who is part of this training is aware of basic concepts. That's it
Yeah,
from my
Raghu.
end for today.
Yeah. So, and one more thing, Raghu. Actually, I have few questions. Can I ask?
Sure. Go ahead.
As part of this migration from ERP to S4HANA. So you mean to say that actually, because I'm familiar with this S4HANA concepts, because I'm working in this S4HANA from last 2 years. So, I mean, if you see, right, we have that S4HANA finance accounting, there is a big configuration, SPR1 node is there in which, we have some sequence, right? General ledger accounting, how to configure new asset, controlling universal general, or general ledger, configuration. So you are going to show that?
Yeah, but you will
Okay.
not able to see much data because it is generally it goes and checks back what is the server we have it for conversion, right? So
Mhm.
we will go through the configuration what is available as part, but we will not able to convert anything.
And you will also showcase some in the asset accounting, some asset acquisition, right? I mean, how to put. See, in asset accounting, I know how to scrap. I know how to do creation of an asset. What is asset class? I know in and out of a basic configuration. But on top of it, you are going to tell what is the major difference in S4 and the asset accounting,
Correct,
right?
correct.
Okay, okay, okay. That's nice. That's nice. And also in the bank accounting, you are saying that instead of GUI, we have to go for NWBC transaction, wherein we have to do configure the banking transactions. How to
Correct.
create a bank.
All house banks to be created only through NWBC.
Oh, okay. And you will also show some internal order settlements, something like that in S4HANA. I think some change is there.
Internal order settlement. Actually, there are new transaction code for HANA. So any
Okay.
transaction where you do for mass processing. So they've created all any transaction. Say for example, you have a CO88 and
Mhm,
the CO88H, that is a
mhm.
HANA transaction. So if you do a KO88, it is a single order processing. So you will not see that H for KO88. Only for
Mhm.
mass processing, you will see that transaction code that you can create 2 or 3 orders and then you can try a test for that.
And one more thing, maybe I don't know whether I should ask this question or not. In fact, in finance also, we have some FSCM, financial supply chain management, where some credit management and collections their disputes. So, is anything are you going to cover in this
No,
course?
no.
Okay,
FSCM is completely a different topic.
okay,
It's a
oh,
module, separate module.
okay. And
Like
also,
CO, it
okay.
is a separate.
Yeah, see, Raghu, I am just here and there because I'm actually eagerly looking for S4HANA finance. So I've gone through some of the syllabuses in some institutes which they are preparing. So I'm just asking wherever I have. Don't think in another way. I'm ready
No,
to
no,
join the way you
that's
explaining.
fine.
It's nice. Yeah, yeah. But only
See,
thing what
whatever
I'm
is required for your like no certification, we will
Mhm.
cover that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And what is the purpose of doing certification? Having been in S4 and you
Mhm.
are working in logistics, what is the purpose of you are trying to move to finance?
Okay. Okay. Honestly speaking, Raghu, I'm a team lead and I have to manage finance consultants also. Okay. In going
Mm-hmm.
forward for my future assignments, which will happen from January onwards.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm good at logistics like MMSD, EWM, transportation management. As years of working in SAP, I have gone through all these things. But see, problem is, as long as you are working as an individual consultant managing only logistics, it's fine. But now my role is getting increased. I have to also have to manage as an account, as a not an account manager, I won't say that big word, but as a lead I have to manage few functional consultants, which includes finance also going forward. So
Okay.
of course this is not a immediate step, but my project is going to close in another 6 months. So I'll have to have a much bigger knowledge on S4HANA finance. See, I'll talk to finance consultants here and there, but just some little jargons I will use just to manage. But I thought that it is not such easy to manage that until unless you really dig into it. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, so really I thought of going back to basics and learn as a student, and then 2 3 months rigorously put my effort on finance and then learn. And if I do certification, then I'll really go to basics. I'll go through all those PDFs and everything, so that at least you see I'm working from last 12 years, at least to make my life simple. I would like to learn this as for HANA finance. It's the basic
Okay.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, you got my point, right? I mean, at some
yeah.
point of time, yeah, you have to manage, you require these things.
At least to get rid of whatever the story finance team is saying.
I do not want to say, but you really revealed the real secret. Yeah, because see, they used to say that is not working, this is not working. Then I will go and say the client. Of course, see, one thing what I understood from is they will buy some time to answer some support issues. Okay, sometimes this buying time will be a bit more. So that's where I'm getting annoyed, I'm getting fooled, honestly speaking. So I do not want to get that. So this is one thing I really dig into this finance for next 6 months. Probably if I do some sort of certification only, I know I will get some. At least if I say I'm a certified FOCO consultant, then people will not fool me. See,
Okay.
I'm not saying all
So,
finance consultants will do that. See, but at least for my covering myself, I'm doing
okay,
this.
that's fine. So even I to learn PP, I to learn MM, so that's fine.
Okay.
So
So
and also you are in India, right? Which location you
yeah,
are
I'm
in?
in India. I'm in India.
Okay, which location you are in?
I'm in Hyderabad only.
Oh, okay, okay.
So yeah, so nice talking to you, Raghu. So actually, see, morning 8 to 10, 8 to 9 is my comfortable time. Or if morning 8 to 9 will not be possible, then we will have to see Saturday, Sundays.
Yeah, we
Saturday,
need
Sunday
to look
morning.
on Saturday and Sunday, but
Okay,
definitely 8
one
to 9
second,
will
one
not work
second,
for me.
Raghu, 1 second. Somebody is calling. Just 1 second. Just 1 second. 1 second. 1 second. Raghu, hello.
Yeah, tell me.
So is it possible for you to take Saturday, Sundays morning, maybe 8 to 10 or 10 to 12?
Hmm. No, no. 10 to 12 is fine. Yeah, not 8 to 10.
Okay, 8 to or 9 to 11. 10 to 12
See,
is fine for you?
yeah, 10 to 12 is fine. See, again, no, Naveen was asking me for long, okay, for this training.
Okay,
Only because of the time constraint, I've been like, no, I always say
okay,
no to him. So this time, say, thought, okay, let me do it. That's what my issue is, time constraint. Okay.
okay,
So because I'm leading the finance team right now, and like,
okay.
no. and also getting into a lot of RFPs and other stuff. Okay, so it is not easy for me to handle this. I'm also handling multiple projects with multiple items.
Oh,
So
nice.
my timing is always a constraint for me. So even this one, like no, I need to stretch myself to complete this training. That's how it is going to be. But at least like
Or
no,
is
I
it
thought it
possible
is.
for you to take on Saturday evening and Sunday morning 10 to 12? Saturday evening 6, 7 to
Yeah,
9
evening
something.
is fine. Saturday evening is fine. Yeah, 7 o'clock or the same timing should be fine. Saturday evening.
Yeah. So Saturday and Sunday, okay.
Morning 10
Saturday
o'clock
because
we can.
yeah. Sunday morning 10 o'clock and Saturday 7 o'clock.
Yeah, we can do that.
Yeah. Okay, Raghu. So I'm fine with the timings. Saturday 7 and Sunday 10 o'clock. So see, Raghu, frankly speaking, I'm happy with this weekends, but it will not be converted to weekday, right? At any point, because
No. Weekday
that
definitely not possible for me in the evening.
okay. So
Okay.
Saturday evening
And
and Sunday
weekday
morning.
morning. Yeah. Weekday morning possible only after 10. Okay, so that will not suit you as well. So it cannot be on weekdays.
Yeah. It cannot be on weekdays. Oh, okay. Yeah, then I am fine. Saturday evening is fine. Sunday morning 10 is fine. Saturday evening, whatever time you say, 7
Hmm.
o'clock, 8 o'clock also I am fine.
Okay, that's fine with me too.
Yeah. Okay, Raghu. So I'm happy to join the course. And then would you please share the syllabus? Maybe if you have some document, something like that.
Yeah. Will do.
Yeah. I mean, okay, I'll talk to Expertsoft. I'll get this.
Sure.
Yeah. Okay. I think
Okay.
from my end, I think that's all questions.
Okay. Yeah.
And you will share any certification dumb something like that? Do you have some how to
Nothing.
pass?
I will give
Okay.
you that what kind of questions they might ask,
Okay.
but I don't have any dumb actually.
Okay. Maybe I will ask experts out if, Naveen whether he will share some certification material for S4HANA Finance. I'll talk to
Sure.
him.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. I think that's all from my end. Thank you.
Naveen?
So when are you going to start, Raghu? I mean, is it from next Saturday or you will wait
Yeah.
for some more students to join?
I would suggest to like know some more students so that we will have a better interaction session. Let's see what
Yeah, no
Naveen says.
problem. I see. I'm not in a hurry. Maybe if it's not next week, even further, one more week also, I don't have any problem. But I'm happy to join if you have these timings is okay. Saturday,
Yeah.
Sunday.
See, I expect like no lot of questions from the participants because this is an opportunity for me to learn. I won't say that I know everything. Okay. So there are a lot of questions which you ask, like no, it should make me to think and then like no, analyze something and then get back to you. So that
Yeah.
should be an opportunity for me to learn as well. So that's what I tell everyone. It's all questions are not dumb questions. So everything you can ask, whatever you have doubt. If I know, I will say I know that answer. If I don't know, I will check and get back to you. So definitely that is going to be the scenario. So I
Yeah. Sure.
expect
Sure.
some so
Sure.
that's what like now if you have multiple participants then and if it is more interactive then it will be good for us actually. That's what I think.
Yeah. No problem because I asked Naveen. He told he will organize a demo today. Okay. So maybe
Mhm.
probably once if you have some more students, I will get in touch with the experts of, and then whenever your batch starts, I will join Raghu. But please that this will be Saturday evening and Sunday morning,
Yeah.
or
See,
even
even if I
Saturday morning also. I don't have any problem. Yeah.
no worries. No, even for others, this is going to be the same situation because I don't have time in the evening for sure. So that's
Yeah.
why.
Yeah. Yeah. Sure. Okay. Right.
Okay, fine. Naveen?
Okay. So I think Naveen.
Okay. He's not there. That's fine.
So
So
shall I close the call, Naveen? Shall
yeah,
I?
we'll.
Yeah, I think I don't have any questions. I will wait for
Okay.
Naveen when he will start this batch.
Sure. Thank you then.
Okay, Raghu. Thanks. Nice
Yeah.
talking to you.
Thank you.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
Bye.
Bye.